This video is to address week number 5, task number 5. In task 5, it asks to use our 3D kit, and in this case I'm using the application GeoGebra. And we are graphing the planes x minus y equals 3 and x minus y equals 5. Those planes are graphed. The x minus y equals 3 plane is in blue, and slightly to the right of that, the x minus y equals 5 plane is in pink here. Before I began graphing on GeoGebra, I hypothesized that these were going to be parallel planes because what I did first was I algebraically isolated y so that I could get it to resemble the two-space version of slope-intercept form and look at their slopes. So when I did that isolation, x equaled 1 in both of the planes, and so my initial thought was, okay, these are not going to intersect, so line L will not exist. And when I got into GeoGebra, I was pleased to find that my hypothesis did work. And what I wanted to do is just to further conclude why they are parallel planes. If you turn your viewpoint to this extent, it almost looks like my two planes intersecting with the XY axis form similar right triangles. And so I wanted to kind of dig a little deeper into that and look at corresponding angles. If corresponding angles are congruent, then that will infer that I have parallel lines. And so what I did was I tested out the angles in corresponding positions between the two planes, and they are indeed the same. And I can go ahead and actually do the same exact thing again for the other pair of corresponding angles. So if I get this angle right here, I am seeing that I have another 45, and then this should also be 45 if it is turning in, and it is. So what we can see there is that we are able to show parallelism through a different trait than slope. And I also did want to touch on the intercepts as well. As we can see, these lines have no z-intercepts at all. They are not touching the z-axis. They are only maintaining intercepts that deal with the x and y axes. So if on the blue plane, if x were to equal 0, y would equal -3. And if y were to equal 0, x would be +3. On the pink plane, if x were to equal 0, y would equal -5. And when y is to equal 0, x will be 5. So what that shows is that in the blue plane, we have a y-intercept of -3 and an x-intercept of +3. And in the pink plane, we have the y-intercept of -5 and the x-intercept of +5. And again, they are sharing no intersections. They are also sharing, or they also have no z-intersections. So they are not at all crossing the z-plane. So this is going to have no intersection between the planes, which means that line L will not exist. Again, this is the case because they are parallel planes.